Hey, everybody. So, this audio is about learning how to truly honor isolation. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because this is something that I'm going through today. Earlier today, 404 as I say this, earlier today, I really got to a breaking point. And this is the breaking point I got to. We're in a world where it's very exhausting to stay alive. Now, this is not to say anything about like suicide because I love myself too much to do that. But I got into this mental breaking point where I was exhausted of knowing the answers, of knowing which way I should go. I got mentally exhausted with paying bills, thinking about money. All of the things that is material plane is it's very exhausting. And I got to this point where I'm like, I don't care anymore. I have just enough energy to just give me. I don't want to give my energy to anybody else right now. I don't want to help nobody. I just want me. And I think it's a realization that needs to happen because we get so caught up, even with the simplest things, to put ourselves last. Even when it comes to bills, we put bills before ourselves in order to survive. And that's even messed up in itself. And I just got to this point where it's exhausting to even care anymore. It really is. And there's this underlying fear to not give a care anymore about anything. Because in today's world, when you just don't care and you're that exhausted mentally, people think you're lazy. People say there's something wrong with you. Well, things ain't gonna change just because you feel like that. And granted, bills doesn't stop because you get to these mentally breaking points. However, it's trusting that everything will still be taken care of if you truly just don't care and you really just put yourself first and say, I have to get my mind, body, and spirit together. And there's so many of us that is so used to neglecting ourselves in that space that even just when you do have a lot of sit down time, you're still thinking about things that is mentally exhausting. And it's just like, no, I want to mentally shut down and I don't want to think about nothing. I want to be in silence. I just want to be able to hear my own voice and I just want to hear nature. So some of you this week might feel that energy or this weekend. We are still coming from the full moon in Sagittarius. And, whenever we're going through the waning moon phases, we do go through these conscious shifts. We go through these psychological shifts where we start to let go of a lot of old ways of thinking and being and saying, you know what, I'm exhausted. I can't do this no more. And the time from the full moon is about what can you let go of that no longer serves you. And in this space, for me personally, I'm tired of putting myself last, even to the simplest things, putting a bill before me, putting other people and my duties and my purpose and all these things before myself. And I am the key to balancing all those areas of my life. I sat here and I reflected in every area of my life how it's unbalanced because I don't prioritize me properly. Whether it's finances, relationships, anything in my life. It's just because you get to that point where you get that mentally exhausted that everything starts to stack up more and more and more. Or you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. And at that point, you just can't breathe and keep up anymore. And I think a lot of you guys can relate to that. And this is a transparency I feel like a lot of people don't want to talk about because they don't want to be judged. And I want to tell you guys, if you do feel like this, it's okay. We do need to get to the breaking point where we actually need rest. We need isolation. We need to not be bothered with anyone. And for some of you guys, I know it's not easy because some of you have children. Some of you have to require to be present for people where you can't have alone time as much. But what I will say for some of you who do have children, try to find time for you in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's your children going to sleep, whether your children's is at daycare, even if you're at work, take 10, 15 minutes in the bathroom to take time for yourself. Just everyone needs quietness. And this world is so busy, it keeps you mentally busy, that it will lead you to a psychotic break. So this is about attending to mental health for so many of us. We are tired. I know I am. And it doesn't mean life stops, but at this moment it's going to stop. Because I need my space. I need to be inhibited in my own sense of self at this time. So moving forward, from this eclipse in Aries, it's been teaching the collective for the next 6 months, since April, that we have to learn to put ourselves first. This is everyone's selfish era. And a lot of the karmic cycles that stops us from prioritizing ourselves and our energy properly, we're going to have mental health situations go on where it's going to lead us into psychotic breaks or lead us to be mentally broken down until we prioritize ourselves first. We are ending the cycles of codependency. We're ending the cycles of deprioritizing ourselves. And there's not going to be a healthy balance in every area of your life if you do not put yourself first unapologetically without a guilty conscience. And some of us, including myself from the past, have dealt with mental and emotional trauma feeling guilty for putting myself first, and other people as well, because we have been surrounded by selfish people who took advantage of us, who made us feel like if we wasn't showing up the way we needed to properly, that we wasn't worthy of people's love and presence and things like that. But this is the time where we have to realize that it's time to reevaluate, certain relationships in your life that doesn't value your space, your time alone, that doesn't value your energy, who's not pouring into you as much as you are pouring into them. This is a time where you have to start setting energetic boundaries and making sure that the people, places, and things are honoring that part of you authentically and being able to give you a space of non-judgment when you do need those times alone, So this is just a quick audio because I'm in that space where every part of my journey is a lesson, and lessons that I can share with you guys, because so many people out here who are spiritualists or spiritual leaders, they don't tell you the underlining of what we go through. They don't tell you what we battle with. We're no different from you guys. We just have a better way on how to navigate. And even then, we still have our struggles on how to navigate through life. And it's still not easy, But this is the message of learning to be comfortable in your isolation, to be comfortable in your own company. You deserve, your relationship with yourself deserves you more than anybody. And then everything else will come into balance. And pay attention to your mental health. Meditation, breath work, pure silence sometimes can just clear the head that's needed. All right, guys. So I love you, and I will talk to you later. Bye.